Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Just Wing It podcast, the podcast where, if all else fails, we just wing it. So, today I'm joined by Dan, who you may have seen on my channel before.
Hello everyone, how are we doing?
I mean, are you waiting for a response, or...?
Well, no, not really.
It's like everyone...
Like I said, I'm just winging it.
Hey, exactly, I like it, we've started well.
That's what all this is about.
Yeah, exactly. So, this is the first one. I mean, it's taken fucking ages to get this off the ground, hasn't it?
Well, better late than never.
Well, yeah, exactly. But, I mean, it's scheduling, because it's like whenever you're free, I'm not, or vice versa.
Yeah, it's always a bit of a pain, but today it's worked out.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, hopefully, I'm trying to get you involved with as many as possible, but there will be, like, guests in other ones as well.
Yeah.
That information I cannot disclose yet, because I don't want to jinx it, and then they don't appear on the podcast. However, I think you already know who some of them are. Don't say them, but I think you know one of them, don't you?
I've got an idea. Yeah.
Okay. The plan with this podcast, then, is to talk about three major topics. So the main overall topic for today is going to be Stephen Moffat and whether or not he was a good or a bad showrunner in hindsight, because obviously he was there from, 2010 to 17? Something like that, was it?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. If you count, 2009, where he was, announced, so he was, plotting stuff around then as well.
Well, technically he'd started work at that point, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and also the other two things... What else are we talking about then?
Well, we've got some, general discussions about movies that are coming out in the latter half of 2018. There's some... we can go into Bumblebee. I've got a few things that I've read that haven't been, great.
Oh, really?
That I would like to touch on. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen anything like... Okay, so we'll get into that in a bit then.
It probably has, you'll have no interest in a certain topic that has really annoyed me.
Okay. Right, what is this then? Because you've been teasing me off camera, so what is it?
Right, they're remaking Child's Play, basically.
Oh, the Chucky thing?
Yeah. Okay. They're remaking it. They're doing a brand new one. It's nothing to do with the canon series. And it's annoying because the main series, it isn't dying out anytime soon. It's not like it ended years ago. The last film came out last year, which also set up for a sequel later on. I haven't seen the last one that came out. I've got it, but it's just finding time to sit down and watch it.
I didn't even know they had made another one recently.
Yeah, there's the seventh one came out last year, I believe. It was a Cult of Chucky.
Never even heard of it.
See, that's what I mean. It's like horror news. But they're also developing a Chucky TV series with the guy, Don Mancini, I believe you pronounce his last name as. He wrote all the movies. He basically created Chucky, but he's got no involvement with this remake. Neither has Brad Dourif, who voices Chucky, which I think everyone can agree. Even the voice of Chucky is just iconic. You can't really replace that in the same way that you can't replace Robert Englund as Freddy, because it's too much of them in that character, and replacing it would not be a good move. But they're doing it anyway. Only this time they're not having the whole plot of Chucky being a doll possessed. He's going to be he's going to be a robot now.
Oh, this is just stupid. I'm not even a fan of this series at all, but I know what it is, obviously, and it's an iconic image. It's like if you changed the TARDIS to a tree or something like that, or if you changed Pikachu to a dog. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. So Chucky's going to be a robot. He's going to be voiced differently. The original writer who's directed the last three movies isn't involved. But the TV series that's involved in the main canon is still going ahead. So we'll have the TV show that links to all of the original movies, and then this remake.
What is the point in that?
I have no idea. And that's frustrating. It's well, who's even backing this? Is there anybody out there remotely interested in this?
I think the problem...
Shouldn't think so.
I think the problem is, and this will lead nicely into Bumblebee, actually. The problem that not movie theatres, but movie companies have now is they are churning out film after film after film of either remakes or reboots of franchises that nobody wants to see. It's like there's the new Halloween movie coming out, and that's supposed to be the actual sequel to the original. And it's just well, how many attempts have you had at that already? It
just erases all the... Cause I've seen pretty much every single Halloween movie that's come out, and most of them aren't great, but the original sequel is really good, as is H2O, that more or less is what this film is based off.
It's stupid. It does look good, though, I must admit, the trailer.
It does look very good, yeah. It should be interesting to see where they go with it.
It's just not necessary.
No, not really. But then again, you have got John Carpenter doing the score again, which is always good news.
Yeah, but score's not going to save a film.
Well, he directed the original one as well. If it's got him involved somewhere, then it should be rather good. But I think... Have you heard of A24?
bloody big sheet of paper in it.
Production company.
Oh,
Basically,
no.
they're the ones who released The Disaster Artist.
Oh, right, okay. Now
But
I'm
basically,
interested.
A24 basically just release pure original films. Like no matter how risky they could be, no matter how low budget, they just make films like as they are. They don't focus on like remakes or sequels. They're just standalone original movies. And so they did obviously Disaster Artist, Lady Bird, which is great. It Comes at Night, Free Fire, then Weekly Movie. They do all sorts of original stuff, and they're getting like better and better. I believe they actually did Hereditary as well. Yes, they did Hereditary, which is the best film.
Did you
that's
just
come
say
out this year so
Hooditary
far.
then?
Hereditary.
I swear you said, but I swear the first time you just went Hooditary. I mean, when I edit this, I'll hear that back, and I'm pretty sure you did. But otherwise, I'm gonna look like a knob. But no, there is a habit and trend recently of movie companies just churning out these films that nobody asked for. It's like obviously there was the whole thing with Ghostbusters, and people turn that into a sexist issue and whatnot. I mean, there was a part of that, yeah, but at the same time, who wanted another Ghostbusters movie? And the same with Solo this year. Like, that tanked. Nobody in their right mind wanted a Han Solo movie. Like, that character is Harrison Ford, and we've seen enough of him. We didn't need his backstory. He wasn't a character that needed a backstory, and the backstory that he got was actually quite shite.
I think that whole story that they tried to go for in the film would have been way better if they just kept it as like a 4-issue miniseries as a comic or something.
I mean,
You can get away with that.
I thought Rogue One was a similar case as well, where it should just be either a game or maybe part of Rebels or something like that.
That was the original plan, actually.
It would have worked a lot better. I don't think it needed to be a movie. It was fine for what it was, but I just didn't care about any of the characters.
I can see why people, maybe wouldn't be as invested in it, but I do love Rogue One. I still haven't seen Solo yet. I think I will anytime soon because I've just kind of lost interest.
I haven't seen it. I just know everything that happens, and trust me, it's absolutely fucking dreadful.
I've just read the Wikipedia synopsis of all of it.
Oh, I watched like a detailed review, and it was hilarious. The guy proper hated it. I can't remember his name now, but it was so funny.
Yeah, it's not something that I'm going to go and check out. There's plenty more things I'd rather invest my time in.
Well, yeah. But
and then check that out.
But speaking of a big franchise that earns a lot of money, that is recently announced a movie that nobody really wanted, the Transformers franchise. Nice little segue there, even segue, bloody hell. Yeah, Bumblebee.
Surprisingly, Bumblebee looks pretty decent.
It does, but I have many issues.
See, because you're more invested in the Transformers kind of world than I am, because I didn't really watch the cartoons. I'm not a fan of that whole world, really. I liked the original one when it came out, when we were in high school. That was fun, but everything that's come out after that...
the original Michael Bay movie?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't watch it now, but I've got like fun... I remember liking it quite a bit when it came out.
It does hold up, but...
really despising the sequels.
You see, I don't think that 2 and 3 are good movies, but I do enjoy them. 4 can fuck off, and I've not even bothered watching 5. But no, they're okay, but I just think that this is a franchise where it works better as an ensemble. And it's like, I guess I'm just used to it from being a kid, watching the cartoons and other cartoon movies and playing with the action figures, but I don't think this is a franchise where they work as standalone characters. And I don't see, especially with Bumblebee being a character that can't even talk, I don't see how this can work. To me, this is going to be like an E.T. ripoff.
And Iron Giant as well. There's definitely hints of that in the trailers and the poster as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Iron Giant. That was a good film.
Even though Michael Bay, obviously he's not directing it, he's still producing it, though.
Oh, is he?
But we should be excited for the reason that it is Travis Knight that's directing it, and he made Kubo and the Two Strings.
Alright, I haven't seen it, but I've heard good things.
Kubo and the Two Strings is fantastic. I really love that. So the fact that he's behind it, it's like, okay, you've got somebody that, somebody promising behind the camera this time.
It looks like a good cast as well. Like, I can't remember anybody's name apart from John Cena, but they all look decent.
Yeah, I'll go in with an open mind.
And it's like
I'm not like dreading it like I did Age of Extinction.
I don't know. It's just with this one, I do think that this could be the start of it could be like a soft reboot. But like I say, I just can't see Bumblebee as a standalone character working. I think you do need the Autobots there, and you do need the Decepticons there. And look, I mean, the look of it looks very much like the original cartoon, and there appears to be Starscream in it.
Yeah,
but that's also rumored that
there
there isn't.
That they've simplified the designs.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if people still want Transformer movies. I don't think the appetite's there for them. I mean, they still make a shit ton of money.
Yeah, I don't think people have been really fussed about them since the second one.
I just don't understand how this movie got the green light, to be honest.
It's a moneymaker, isn't it? Like you said, like they've all made a lot of money. So
Yeah, but they are gradually losing money, though.
maybe this will be a last ditch effort. Like, is it related to the ones that have come before it? So are they treating this like a prequel
It is a
or
prequel.
a full-on reboot?
It is a prequel because Bumblebee has the broken vocal cords. Like, that's something exclusive to the Michael Bay movies.
Right. So they are going to eventually lead into the original one then.
Oh god, probably, yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, I mean, even in that trailer, they have a clip from the first Transformers movie where Sam's picking the car, and it's like the driver don't pick the car picks the driver.
Yeah.
So that's in the so it is definitely linked, but it just makes no sense to those movies. But then again, the continuity in those Transformers movies is awful, and even though I like the first three, it actually pisses me off how inconsistent they actually are.
I can't even follow them, to be fair.
I mean,
Like, I don't
struggle.
really have that much interest in them. It's like I don't really know which Autobots who or which Decepticons what. Like when they're all like dying, I'm like they all look the same to me.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's the irritating thing, because in the cartoons, both the Autobots and Decepticons, they all have such brilliant personalities, and they're all individuals but part of a team. Whereas in these movies, it's Optimus and his friends, and then Megatron and these generic villainous-looking people. That's all it is, and it's so frustrating to see.
Yeah, hopefully, like you say, like is it Starscream that's in this one?
Oh, don't act like you don't know Starscream. Come on.
I never kept up with the cartoons. I don't really care for the Transformers world, really, to be honest. I'll still see this kid looks decent, and Travis Knight's behind it, so I'll watch anything he does.
I think it could be fun, but I don't want it at the same time. I don't know what it is. I'm just so bitter and twisted about everything nowadays that I'm just like, no, I can't be arsed. I don't want this.
Yeah, my prediction is it'll be just a simple, fun time. It won't be anything too memorable. It'll just be a fun movie for what it is at the time.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to blow anybody away, personally.
No.
But
It'd be good if it did. If it somehow kickstarted the whole franchise again and brought back interest.
Well, yeah. But a movie that is also going to kick off a franchise and could potentially be amazing is Venom.
Yeah, and I don't know why so many people are hating on this already.
I
know it's
don't
not
either.
I know they're not linking it to Spider-Man just yet.
Just yet, that's the crucial thing. I think they will.
Like eventually. Like I think it could work. Like from what I've seen in the trailer so far, it looks really promising. Tom Hardy looks great. Venom himself looks amazing.
Oh, he looks fantastic.
As does the symbiote. I like the fact that they have got
Don't
some
you mean
humor.
symbiote, as they say in the trailer?
What is that
Symbiote.
about?
I don't know. I don't know whether symbiote. I thought it's symbiote. That's it.
That'll be changed by the time the final film comes out. They'll have corrected that.
However, I am really looking forward to Venom. I think all the trailers have looked good and they've all got positive notes about them. There's one major issue that I have, though, and I don't know if you've heard this, but recently they came out and said that this is going to be PG-13. So in the UK, that's the equivalent of a 12, I believe.
Yeah.
That's not good. You want Venom to be 15 or 18 minimum. You want this to essentially be like a Logan or a Deadpool, where it is quite gory and violent.
I don't think it has any business being an 18, but 15, yeah. But then again, you can do a lot by just suggesting things. Like, you don't really have to have all the violence displayed on screen.
I know, but if this is supposed to be the start of a new universe, like this Sony Spider-Man universe, which is somehow without Spider-Man, how they're going to do that, I don't know. But if you're, sort of, this is a jumping off point, you want it to be something spectacular. And I think if you do censor Venom, and you do sort of make him the Spider-Man version of Venom, without Spider-Man, it doesn't really work. You need to have him sort of more sweary. Instead of saying like a turd in the wind, like a shit in the wind, I don't know, or something like that. I love that.
That line is kind of cringy.
I really like it.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's
all right. I'm not big on it. But like you say, with it being a 12, obviously you can't make it too violent. But 12s in the past have had some horrifying moments. Like
Name one.
Quint's death in Jaws.
All right, okay.
Where he gets eaten in. That's horrific to watch still. The ending of Raiders of the Lost
Jaws
Ark.
is a 15.
No, it's PG.
I'm looking this up. Talk amongst yourselves, viewers. I am sure
it might be
Jaws is a 15.
It's 12 online, but the DVD version I've got, it's PG.
Jaws, age rating UK. I am sure.
It's a 12 at most. It's definitely not a 15.
It is a 12, fair enough. I could have sworn it was a 15.
Raiders of the Lost Ark as well, with all the melting faces at the end. That's horrific for a 12.
That is cool, though.
Yeah, it is great.
But you see,
so they are going to have some leeway there. I think
the issue, though. You can
do something.
There's literally one occasion where you can do that. It's like in certain films, you're only allowed to say fuck a certain amount of times, or you can only say cunt once, or something like that. So I imagine there will be like this big, really gory moment, but there's only going to be one of them.
Well, even in like when we go back to the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man film, the final fight with Green Goblin at the end is really brutal.
Yeah, but like
I know
you're
not massive on them, but like
God, no.
like that whole scene, that whole battle.
Yeah, I know, but that's one part of the entire film. What I'm saying is, with Venom, there needs to be multiple moments, because that's what Venom is. Venom is like this savage that will sort of mock and tease people and rip people to shreds. Not constantly. I don't want Venom just to wander about and say, "Oh, you." That's
I think it'll be more impactful if they keep it like toned down for the most bit, and then at the end they have this massive standout scene that is really kind of graphic and in your face, so it stands out more.
I guess.
And then it feels worth it by the end as well.
I guess, but I do think that Sony are jumping ahead of themselves ever so slightly, and the main reason for this is because originally after Venom they were going to have a Silver and Black movie, which was going to be Silver Sable and Black Cat. They've scrapped that, they've knocked that on the head. They've recently said, we're going to do a Kraven the Hunter movie. Sony, if you're listening, don't fucking do that. And now...
that's pointless to me. Like, he's not even... Like, Kraven's not even a great villain, like, on his own. Like, he's pretty decent in Kraven's Last Hunt. I think that's the only story from the comics that he's in that I actually like Kraven in, really. It's the only one that he's got any promise in, or he's interesting.
I think one of the early Ultimate Spider-Man comics has got Kraven in, and that's quite a good one.
Yeah.
But that's they don't use Kraven like a major villain. It's like Spider-Man's just starting out, and... Kraven's just like, who's this kid then? I'm going to hunt him. And it's quite an interesting story, but if you have like a pre-established Peter Parker who is well known, I don't think Kraven works that well.
No. It seems to me like what Sony are doing at the moment is they're just throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks.
And I don't think a lot is. But the thing is, they are actually going to do a movie with Silver Sable and Black Cat. However, the recent news that I heard is that they're going to split it into 2 parts.
Why is that a thing?
Why? Don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't understand why you would split movies into 2 parts nowadays. Anyway.
Well, I mean, they're talking of doing that with Star Wars Episode 9 as well, aren't they?
That ruins the whole point because it's a trilogy. My OCD is going to go through the fucking roof if Episode 9 is in 2 parts.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really care what they do in Episode 9 now, anyway.
Oh no, God no! It's probably going to be the worst thing in the world. But you know, I still want it to be just one film.
Yeah.
Like movies were always like. You have sequels and obviously and all that, but they are just one film. You don't need to split them up. If you can't tell a story within an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, then you've failed. You don't need 5 hours to tell a story, regardless of how complex you might think it is. I mean, you look at the major complaints of the Harry Potter franchise and the Hunger Games is that in the last movies, the first part is boring as shit, and all the good stuff happens in the second part.
Yeah, exactly.
So you could easily just condense it down.
It's a money-making scheme, isn't it?
Well,
really.
Yeah.
Like with Avengers Infinity War, like it does make sense, but again, it's not called Infinity War Parts 1 and 2. Like it's just going to be...
Not anymore, anyway.
Yeah.
Although it still technically is.
Yeah.
I'm going to
can't really win with that one.
No. Have you started drinking yet, by the way?
No, I can't be bothered.
I've literally just cracked open a beer because you said. I didn't even want it, but I just thought, well, if he's doing it.
No, not today. I'm not feeling it.
Great. Well, this is going to be a fun podcast for me then.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we should talk about some movies that are coming out that we're like looking forward to, but we're not going to like low-key bitch about at the same time.
I mean, I had Venom and that was it, and I still have stuff to bitch about. There's literally,
We've got Into the Spider-Verse.
Is that out this year? Is it?
I believe so. Yeah, I think it's at the very end. Like, it might be December.
See, I still have issues with that as well.
Have you read the Spider-Verse comic, the 6-issue storyline?
I don't think so. No.
It is pretty decent. It is really good. It's done by Dan Slott, who I'm very mixed towards a lot of his stuff. Like, he's done some pretty interesting things with Spider-Man as a whole. Like he did, Spider-Verse and Spider Island, and which was kind of mad. But then he did the whole Superior Spider-Man thing with Doc Ock's brain in Peter's body.
I didn't mind that.
I didn't mind it, but at the same time, it was kind of like, why is this a thing? It wasn't necessary, but I think it was... No. I don't know, it's just experimentation, really, and sometimes in comics it works, sometimes it doesn't. That one kind of was hit and miss, overall. I am very psyched about Spider-Verse, though, because I'm interested to see where they go with the Miles Morales story. They got Spider-Gwen as well, haven't they? But
is that like Peter Parker? Oh, no, I hate Spider-Gwen as well. I mean, the name itself is just stupid.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's been explained to me as well, but... No, that is Peter Parker, is it? The sort of tramp-looking guy? that's in the trailer?
The tramp-looking guy in the trailer.
Yeah, the one the Spider-Man that they eat a burger together, and he's like, "I haven't got any money."
Yeah, I think that's Peter.
That's not Peter Parker.
Let me have a look.
That's
Right, I'm
no.
on the cast at the moment. So you got Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, Miles' uncle.
No, I
Kingpin.
know that Peter Parker's probably in it, but I just want to know if that guy that's in the trailer is supposed to be Peter Parker, because if so, that is a horrendous interpretation of Peter Parker.
I think it is supposed to be, yeah.
Oh, but why? He's not a tramp. He's not. This is stupid. I mean, if it was Ben Reilly, okay, maybe see that. But Peter Parker's not some bum who can't afford a burger. To my knowledge, anyway.
Well,
Especially,
it's kind of upkeeping with some of the older Spider-Man comics
Well, I
from
mean,
like the mid-2000s.
especially at that age, though, because this is a more experienced Peter Parker, clearly.
Yeah.
So
I like how the trailer hasn't revealed anything in terms of like the overall story, but the animation looks absolutely beautiful.
I don't know how I feel about it. Sometimes I look at it and I think, oh yeah, okay, that's good. Other times I'm like, this is giving me an headache.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
It actually kind of reminds me of. Have you seen the? Obviously, there've been loads of Spider-Man cartoons, but there was one called Spider-Man the Animated Series, and it was like a CG show, but the animation style is horrifically dated now. I think
I know the one that you mean.
it lasted for like one series. Like Harry Osborn was blonde.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, it's like a more updated version of that kind of. That's what it reminds me of.
Which
Those are the vibes I'm getting from it.
which leads me to suggest that it's not going to age well then in a few years.
Maybe not, but for now it does look really good.
I don't know. It should be good though. I mean, I do really like Miles Morales, so it's good that we're having a Spider-Man movie centered around him.
Yeah, I actually haven't read any of the Miles Morales comics yet.
I've read some. I've
I need to
read a
catch up
few
on
where. Well, I mean, I've kind of read ones where it is supposed to be Peter Parker's story, but he goes into that universe, and Miles is there. And I've read a couple of others, and no, I think Miles isn't in the Ultimate. Well, just exclusively in the Ultimate Universe now. I think he's in the main 616 continuity, so he is cool. I mean, we're probably going to see him in the Marvel movies at some point.
Yeah,
which would be
probably.
good.
I mean, that's one of the best things Dan Slott did when writing the Spider-Man comics. Like his run overall was kind of shaky, very up and down. But one of the best things he did was introduce the idea of the Spider-Verse, because it gives you so much to go into.
Too much though.
An unlimited amount, which can lead to various like different spin-offs, mostly just within the comics. Like they've got something called Spider-Geddon, I believe, at the moment. And I think I saw a promo image, and it was like a punk rock Spider-Man playing a concert.
I think I did see that one as well.
Yeah, it looks absolutely balmy, but I'm like, you know what? All right.
I don't know.
This looks fun.
I don't know. I am a stickler for sort of keeping things as they were. Like I do prefer. I mean, I like Miles, but I do prefer Peter Parker and a lot of the other heroes and whatnot.
We've both grown up with Peter Parker, so that's
Yeah, I guess that's why.
he'll always be Spider-Man.
Oh yeah,
No matter how many different ones they have.
that's true. But speaking of different superheroes, Batwoman has come under some fire recently. With the announcement of the casting of Ruby Rose. Now, I know we're going to get into another casting issue soon, but we'll talk about Ruby Rose first. Now, the thing is, right, before you get into your little rant, because I sense it coming, let me just find the thing here. This is where I think TV shows and movies are going wrong. Now, in terms of representation and all that sort of stuff, do it, I'm not arsed. The issue that I have is when you go out of your way to specify this is what we're doing, this character is this sexuality, this race, this gender, whatever. That doesn't work for me. And I think the most hilarious thing about this is usually people say, oh well, people are just racist or sexist or homophobic, any of this stuff when a casting has been announced. This one has made me laugh. It's those people that are the ones that have driven Ruby Rose off of Twitter because they said that she wasn't gay enough to play a lesbian character, even though Ruby Rose herself is a lesbian.
So does that mean that, by that logic, Neil Patrick Harris wasn't straight enough to play Barney in How I Met Your Mother?
Or John Barrowman played Malcolm Merlyn in Arrow?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
It's the same principle.
Essentially, yes.
I don't understand where this whole thing came from, where it's like story has to take a back seat. And the synopsis that you read to me.
Oh, yeah. The first line. I mean, Batwoman is a really good character. But straight away, right, I'm literally on Google now, and on an article from the Hollywood Reporter, this is what I was getting into then. Ruby Rose to play lesbian superhero. Just tell us it's Batwoman. Like, Batwoman is known as a lesbian character. She has been since, I think, 2006. Like, why do they have to single that out? And then the first line of the description is, Kate Kane has a passion for social justice. Why not just justice?
Yeah, they didn't have to include that.
No, because it's clear that they are targeting a certain demographic. And look, it doesn't matter where you align politically. The problem is that people are making it matter whether you align in whatever way. Now, I'm not really a political person, but I personally cannot stand either, the alt-right or these social justice warrior types. I think they're all fucking stupid and should just get on with watching something on TV because it's entertaining, not because X, Y, or Z type of person is in it.
Yeah. Like, when I haven't seen Ruby Rose in anything other than The Meg, which isn't exactly a great place to show off your acting talents.
Well, no,
but
it's about a giant shark.
Yeah, decent movie, by the way. Just going to throw that out there.
Okay.
But I saw the comparison shot between like the comic book drawing of Batwoman and then Ruby Rose, and she does look the part. I think it's a pretty decent piece of casting.
It's quite a smart piece of casting as well, because she's known for movies more than anything else, isn't she?
Yeah.
Well, I guess she was in Orange is the New Black as well.
Yeah, that was like her, from what I understand, her breakout role.
Yeah, but it's not in the same vein as, say, Stephen Amell or Grant Gustin, who had done a bit of TV beforehand and then subsequently have gone on to do movies. Like Stephen Amell, of course, was in the Ninja Turtles sequel. But with her, like, she is kind of the biggest name going into this as a lead role.
Yeah, and it is good casting, but I don't understand why a certain amount of people have felt the need to drive her off Twitter.
No.
Because of it, like, not gay enough. Like, since when has that been a thing?
I mean, the other thing as well is because obviously Kate Kane is Jewish in the comics, and another thing was she's
that was
not
another complaint. Wasn't it?
she's not Jewish enough, and I just think, do you know the definition of acting?
It's like, okay, shall we chastise Ian McKellen, who played Gandalf, for not being an actual fucking wizard?
Yeah, exactly. Shall we have a go at Henry Cavill because he can't fly?
Yeah, it's just baffling to me. It really is. I don't understand the logic with these people at all. It's like, it's a TV show about a superhero. Just shut up and watch it. If you don't want to watch it, fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But don't
Nobody's
start harassing the actresses or the actors online just because they're taking a role. Because at the end of the day, it's a job.
And at the end of the day, it's not
That's
even...
all it is.
It's them acting. Everything else is sort of out of their hands. It's to do with the writers, the directors, the producers. It's all of that stuff. So if it's bad... It's always the actor that gets the main blame, and sometimes it is the actor's fault, but a lot of the time it is the writing.
We haven't even seen her in the role yet.
No.
So how do they know she's going to be terrible?
They don't. But no, she's got to be. She's not lesbian enough. She's not Jewish enough, and all this sort of stuff. And I just think, well, she can act, can't she? Like, I mean, she is a lesbian, so that helps, I guess, in their cause that they see it as. But the Jewish thing, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't read too much Batwoman personally, so I don't know if it's in the same way that Daredevil is with his religion, that it is like a major thing. But if it is, then, I mean, Charlie Cox that plays Daredevil is what is Daredevil? Is he Catholic or just Christian?
He's Catholic.
I mean, how much Catholicism is in the Daredevil TV show? I mean, he goes to church every now and again, but it's not a major issue.
Yeah, it's a big theme in the Frank Miller comics.
Yeah. Well, it's like in the Ben Affleck movie as well. I mean, is Ben Affleck a Catholic? Probably not.
No idea. Don't care.
No. Yeah, exactly. I don't care. Are they good at what they do? Yes, great. No, never mind then. Simple as.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing as well with a certain British comedian with Disney, isn't it?
Oh, what is it? Jungle Cruise? Is that the name of the film?
I've no idea what it's called. All I know is it involves Jack Whitehall. And I think the funniest thing about this casting is the fact that it's not even official.
Yeah, it's just rumours at this point.
It's just a rumour. So now Jack Whitehall was probably going to have like a massive role in a Disney movie, but because of all of this, people have just gone, no, he's not actually gay, fuck him off.
Yeah, which has never been a problem before, like what we've touched on. But the fact is, they're creating all these guidelines that don't need to be there.
No.
So it's like, okay, well, are gay actors only supposed to play gay actors now? Are you going to limit them because of their sexuality, which is what they're fighting against for years and years and years?
The only thing that I take issue with is if actors are being denied for roles based purely on their sexuality or their race or gender or anything like that. I mean, obviously it depends on the part. But if they are strict, just being turned down because they are gay, that is a problem. And if they are only being offered roles for gay people, again, that is a problem. However, that doesn't mean that gay people can't play straight roles or vice versa. Or it baffles me that people even find this as an issue, because the amount of times that over the years we've seen. I mean, Ian McKellen, like you said, he's gay.
Yeah, exactly.
And Magneto is not a gay character.
Heath Ledger in Brokeback Mountain.
And Jake Gyllenhaal as well, wasn't it?
As well, yeah. Like, so many have done it before, and so many gay actors, have played straight characters too.
Yeah.
But I don't know why nowadays it's such a big deal.
I don't either.
Like, I like Jack Whitehall. I think he's really hilarious. Whether he'll be good in this, I don't know.
I think it's irrelevant because he's not getting the job now.
Oh, has he stepped down?
No, it's not that. I can just tell you that's not going to happen because of this backlash. There's no way in hell Disney are going to see that and think, okay, yeah, we'll keep with him then. I mean, the funny thing is, he might not even have been offered the role in the first place. He might have just been on like a short list, and people have just gone, hang on, he's straight. Pitchforks out, people.
Like he had an audition, and that's a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. But like I say, if people are genuinely being turned down because of trivial things, let's be honest, then that's an issue. But this is also such a non-issue. I understand. I mean, people say, well, do you want the representation? And that's fine. That's more than fine. But surely the representation comes from the performance on screen, not from who is playing that role. Yeah. That's what I think, anyway.
It shouldn't be a thing.
But then again, as two straight white males, obviously, we're the devil incarnate, so our opinion means absolutely fuck all.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it's going to go down.
Yeah, pretty much. I can just imagine some people in the comments now, just like, I didn't realize Winky was a bigot. I can see it happening.
This
already.
Is YouTube.
Well, yeah, God, yeah. But no, I see it as a non-issue really, and good luck to both Ruby Rose and Jack Whitehall.
Yeah, just the only thing they need to do is just tell good stories.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the only thing audiences really want. When it really boils down to it, just tell a good story. It's going to start affecting films pretty badly, I think.
It already has done. And this is the thing, it's like I said before, like, I'm not an overly political guy. I'm not that invested in politics, whether it's the left or whether it's the right or whatever. I just want escapism. I just want to watch a TV show or a movie or read a comic or anything like that and just enjoy it for what it is. Sure, you can have messages in there, but just make sure that they are subtle. You don't, or on the other hand,
not to the point where they're just slapping you in the face with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Screaming, acknowledge this.
Yeah, and another thing as well is, if you are going to do something political, make sure that you represent both sides, because if you don't, you're going to switch somebody off, and you're going to lose half of your viewers then, and then people will complain, and then it turns into this massive issue.
Yeah.
It's, can we not enjoy anything nowadays?
We really can't.
No.
It's very frustrating.
It really, really is. But
movies are going downhill.
Pretty much, yeah. Right, but enough of all the doom and gloom then. Let's cut to a man who is actually very cheerful, very apolitical, and is also reading out what you guys want him to say. So let's cut to that.
In my experience, most people don't know what they really want. A lot of people said that they wanted Britain to leave the EU, but were very quickly rethinking their position after the country was taken over by a charter from Sesame Street, and the value of the pound dropped like a Conservative Prime Minister's trousers at a pig farm. The world is dark and scary and full of creepy clown dentists, but you got to push through and hope that there's better stuff ahead. I know people would just tell me I'm just a misery guts who expects too much, but fuck you. You know where we end up if you expect too much. 2 words. President Trump. Have I met him? No one speaks like that in this or any other branch of reality. Capuche. The moment you shut out their shrill, tremulous voices, the happier you will be for it. I want to sell out and settle down for one day, only it's a blue light special on aisle 3. My wormhole technology and 3 set of steak knives. All the tea in China.
And we are back. That was fun, wasn't it? I haven't actually recorded anything yet, but we'll acknowledge that it was good. What did you think of it, Dan?
That was a surreal moment for me.
I mean, I've got a semi right now. It was that good.
Let's just brush over that.
I don't know whether I should leave that in or cut it out.
Well, it's down to you, innit?
I'll see how I feel. I'll see how I feel. Anyway, speaking of things that give me a semi, let's talk about Stephen Moffat.
I like it. You just earlier on, you were like, "Oh, let's skip all the doom and gloom." So we're going to go into this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, this is the main thing that I wanted to talk about today, because with hindsight, obviously Stephen Moffat has gone now. He's out the door. That's it. We can look back from Series 5 onwards to whether or not he was actually a good showrunner. Overall, would you say he was good or he was bad as a showrunner?
Here's the thing. I actually really like Stephen Moffat.
As a person?
Well, I've never met him.
Well,
but from the video we did, discussing all the 10 series there, obviously I made it clear that I was a big fan of 5 and 6, and everything else after that was more or less hit and miss.
Yeah.
But the individual stories that he always wrote, 90% of the time, were very strong. Obviously, excluding Hellbent and maybe the pilot and some like Series 10 stuff. But as a whole, I think there was a lot of interesting stuff in Stephen Moffat's run. Like, he was always trying to do something different. He was always trying to do stories that were a little more complex, that had more involved and more going for them. And you can tell that he was also very passionate about it as well.
For a period, yeah. I think towards the end it was obvious that he just wanted rid of it.
Well, by that point he had been doing it for 10 years.
No, he hadn't.
Well, not running the show, but he was still writing for the show since 2005. So Doctor Who as a whole has been a part of his creative life for 10 plus years.
Yeah, I guess so. But at the same time, I think what he managed to do is incredible, because on the one hand, he made the show incredibly popular in America. It was the biggest, in terms of popularity, it's the biggest it's ever been for years. But at the same time, he managed to run it into the ground.
I don't think he ran it into the ground.
I do.
Per se. I don't think he killed off interest completely. Towards the end of, towards Series 10, obviously, so that I wasn't really a big fan of that series. But I originally stopped watching after Series 8. That was more or less when I stopped.
I think a lot of people did. I think that finale really turned a lot of people off.
It wasn't even the finale. It was.
Did you not even get that far?
No, it was Magician's Apprentice actually that made me stop.
That's Series 9.
Yeah, I know.
But
it was.
You said Series
through.
8.
Yeah, well, when I stopped watching it as a whole, when I stopped focusing on it, I watched half of Magician's Apprentice and then turned it off. It was as soon as Capaldi came out on the tank with the guitar that I was like.
You like that story though?
I like that story. Yeah. I don't like that scene.
Oh, we've got beef on that, I tell you what. I mean, that's another podcast all in itself. That is actually episodes that I like that you don't. I think we discussed this before. Anyway, no, I think he did some really good stuff. Like, if we're talking strictly as showrunner, Series 5 is phenomenal. It's my favourite series of the new series. Series 6 is where I think Moffat starts to lose his way. Now, it's not in the same sense... Well, it's not as bad as it was later on, but you can see the seeds of it here, where it's too convoluted. I think another thing that hurt it, and I don't know if this was Moffat's decision or if this was down to the BBC, but I think a major issue was breaking the series up, so you have 7 episodes one half of the year, then the other 6 the other half. I think that really hurt Series 6 for me.
I definitely agree with that, to be honest, because I love A Good Man Goes to War, and I love that cliffhanger, and I do like where it breaks, and then you come back with Let's Kill Hitler. And you're like, oh, damn.
I know, it doesn't follow on at all.
It's like a punch in the gut. It's like, there's no proper continuation here.
I'm going to get onto it in a sec, but I think another glaring issue for me, I mean, I will talk about its positives as well, I promise. Another glaring issue for me is, like I say, it's too convoluted. And Series 6 was the start of that. So it's just so the Doctor's on that beach and he gets killed, but he's actually a little version of himself inside a robot of himself, and then he's saving the universe from this race of aliens that you don't remember because of... And it just goes on and on and on, and I'm just like, I can't keep up with this. And and River Song is just your future companion's kid. I don't get how he goes
That was weird at first. It's a plot twist that has grown on me massively over the years, though.
I don't know, because if you put it into the context of where we first meet River in Silence of the Library, it just falls flat, because you think, wow, she must be a major player in the Doctor's life. Yeah, sure, wife, whatever. But to just be the daughter of your future companion, that's just... What if she was Romana, or she was another actual Time Lord or something like that? But no, she's only a Time Lord because she was
Time Lord, isn't she?
Yeah, but she's only Time Lord because she was conceived in the TARDIS or something like that. Or she was birthed in the TARDIS. I can't remember which one it is, but that's dumb.
It's a very weird idea. I'll give you that. It is very It's very odd.
Because I just get this mental image, right, and it's so unfair on the Doctor, where he's just there, he's like, oh, right, I'm going to take the Ponds wherever they want to go today, and he's there flicking all these levers and whatnot. They're fucking shagging in the back room.
There must be so many rooms, though.
Well, I mean, there is. There is. I mean, there's no chance of being walked in on. I mean, TARDIS is probably the best place in the world to have a wank, let's be honest. I'm leaving that one. I'm definitely leaving that one in. But no, it's true though. Not the wanking thing, but no, it's true that it's too convoluted and it's too stupid a lot of the time. But to go back to a positive, I do think, well, story arcs are a problem. Like I say, they're too convoluted. But I do think that there's a lot of individual episodes where Moffat really shined, and he really did show who he could have been a showrunner when he was.
Day of the Doctor being a prime example of one of his highlights.
Yeah, definitely. I was just about to go on to that one, because Day of the Doctor is problematic regardless, because you're not going to please everybody. Yes, it does focus more on the new series. Yes, the only classic Doctor that they bring back is Tom Baker. But given the resources that he had, given the budget constraints that he had, given the sort of brief that he had, who could and couldn't return and all that sort of stuff, he did a bloody good job.
I remember reading somewhere as well that he was incredibly measurable during the writing process for Day of the Doctor.
I'm not surprised.
I think after both Series 6 and the 7, I think he was exhausted by that point by the workload.
Yeah.
So to put out something as strong as Day of the Doctor, when you're not feeling it particularly, at a height of creativity, or feeling run down with it completely, that is brilliant.
I mean, the way that he worked around certain issues as well was, I think, was a stroke of genius. I mean, the biggest glaring issue that he had to face was, okay, yeah, so we've got Matt, he's the current Doctor. David, he's going to come back. There's no chance in hell you're going to get Christopher Eccleston back. What the fuck do we do? Do we just have David and Matt, or do we have something else here? So he's just like, fuck it, I'll create a new Doctor. And he gets John Hurt. That's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, that was a great move on his part. Do you reckon it would have worked to bring in Christopher Eccleston back? Or are you glad we had the War Doctor instead?
I'm glad that we have John Hurt. Purely because I don't think that, if you listen to the dialogue that John Hurt had, I know it was supposed to be for Eccleston, but it doesn't work for the Ninth Doctor to me. Because obviously he's going through the struggle of... Because he says, doesn't he, in Rose, that, well, he hints at the fact that he's recently regenerated.
Yeah.
So I don't think it works for like his first adventure to be with two of his future selves, and then he learns, oh yeah, everything's going to be all right. Then he forgets it all, and then he goes on the journey. I think it's much better if it's a separate incarnation. Potentially it could have worked with the Eighth Doctor, Paul McGann, but I just can't see the Eighth Doctor being that sort of war-torn hero.
I can't either, really.
No. It would have been nice, but I just don't think it would have worked logistically, really.
Yeah, I mean, but John Hurt was fantastic in everything he was in.
Oh, yeah.
So getting him involved in it was fantastic. And then it gave us that great twist at the end of
Name of the Doctor
as well.
I think that's why I like Name of the Doctor so much, you know. It's an okay story, but I think I was just so blown away that, one, there's a new incarnation of the Doctor that we never knew, and two, it's John Hurt. Like, oh my god, that was amazing. I remember watching that. I nearly shit myself with excitement. It was such a good reveal.
And this was also a time where Clara was tolerable. Well, I'm going to go as far as say she was actually likeable in Series 7.
I don't know. I think at this point, well, even the 50th, I think that's where he began to fuck up Clara.
No, I'm going to say beginning of Series 8, really. With Matt Smith, I've got no issue with her whatsoever.
I don't have issue with her per se. I have an issue with Moffat's direction for her. Because he starts her off in, well, technically it's Asylum of the Daleks.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just somebody in a Dalek, whatever. Then you meet the Clara in...
The Snowman.
That's the one, yeah. I couldn't think of the name of it then. Yeah, who is this really sort of cheeky, cockney waitress and whatnot. And she's actually quite a fun character. Then we get modern-day Clara, who's boring and not as good as the last one. And there's this entire thing like, who is she? And she's an enigma. She's a mystery. Like, you know, I see her all the time. What is it? You find out what that is, and then Moffat just doesn't give her any more character. That's it then. It's just like, oh yeah, well she's the one that ran into the Doctor's time stream. Okay, but who is she? Who is she underneath?
If she disappeared completely at the end of that point, it really would not make that much of a difference.
No, and it's clear that Moffat didn't have a direction for her either, because, I mean, throughout Series 7, she was a nanny, was it?
I believe, yeah, she was.
And then all of a sudden in Day of the Doctor, she's a teacher.
Yeah.
Where'd she get the degree from?
Well, how much time had passed since those 2 episodes?
That's the problem. You don't know.
So maybe that's just him just leaving it up to us to decide.
Yeah, but that's not good. That's really not... That's poor. I mean, Clara is a major issue for me anyway, because, I mean, like you say, Series 8 Clara... God, she's unbearable. The annoying thing is, though, I actually do think that she has got better chemistry with Peter Capaldi than she does with Matt Smith.
Yeah.
So they could have actually really worked together. And I was watching this video the other day, and it was titled something like "How Clara Almost Worked." And a lot of the stuff that this guy was saying was... No, he was actually a fan of Clara, but he was saying she's the most frustrating companion because all of the ingredients are there, they just don't come together. If you would have started Clara's story off, like say you forget Series 7B and it was just Amy and Rory throughout the entire thing, and you start Series 8 where the 12th Doctor meets Clara, and you go from there, would Clara be as hated than if she was the Clara that we know and loathe?
Well, I only started loathing her when, towards the end of 8, really, when she threw his keys in the TARDIS. I think that was the point where I was like, yeah, okay, I don't like this character anymore. So you're saying if they brought her in at the beginning of 8, like they haven't done the whole she's part of his time stream yet, like they introduce her at the beginning of Series 8,
brand new character,
completely new.
Yeah.
Okay. Would the right? Okay. Well, I don't know because we wouldn't have that backstory for her then. So she'd just be an incredibly average companion from the get-go.
She doesn't have a backstory anyway, really.
Well, not backstory, but before 8, obviously we had the stuff with her and the time stream and the Impossible Girl and all that stuff.
See, that's the frustrating thing. That's the most interesting thing about her.
That she's a concept rather than a character.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing that really... This is going to turn into a Clara rant and not a Moffat one. The interesting thing for me about Clara was Moffat clearly tried to give her something in Series 8 with the whole thing with Danny Pink, but what Moffat actually forgot to do was include the majority of their relationship on screen. So by the time it does get to, like you said, the bit where she throws the key away, there's no payoff there because you haven't seen their relationship. So I just think, well, you're a cunt. Like,
I don't understand why Clara didn't just go to the Doctor and say, there's a situation with Dan, I need you to help me out. I like it how she went immediately to just start threatening him. It's like, what?
Yeah,
We've gone from A to Z in the space of a couple minutes.
If she had gone to the Doctor and he said, look, no, I'm not helping you, like, fuck off, fair enough. But she doesn't even think to go, please, like, save him. You know, it's not even a simple case of, like with Rose in Father's Day, where she's like, can you take me to see my dad or something like that? And the Doctor's just like, yeah, sure, but you can't interfere or anything. And then the story goes from there. But with this, it was a simple case of, I'm going to destroy your TARDIS, Doctor, because my boyfriend died.
Who you've known for a few months.
What
or
feels like that.
Potentially weeks.
Yeah, what feels like that, because we don't really see their relationship blossom. So I personally don't feel that Clara felt that strongly about Danny to the point where she would do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's
no other companion would do that either.
You can tell that I'm really passionate about Clara here because on my notes here I've written pros and cons, and in my cons I've put Clara and I've underlined Clara 3 times. Nothing else is underlined, just that one. But I honestly think that Clara is Moffat's biggest failure.
I thought Hellbent was.
Yeah, but that's related to Clara.
Yeah, I suppose.
No, because Clara could have actually been something. I think Hellbent is a byproduct of Clara. I mean, realistically, it shouldn't have been. I mean, most people can understand why Hellbent is terrible. Objectively speaking, it's not even me just being biased here. Like, if you genuinely think it's good and you enjoy it, more power to you. You're an idiot, but more power to you.
I still think that episode started off okay, because obviously you've been telling me about how terrible it was for ages and ages whilst I was doing my catch up, going through all the ones I hadn't seen, and when I finally got to it, I was like, right, okay, let's see how bad this is. And then when it started, when he gets to Gallifrey and whatnot, and he has the confrontation with what's his name, yeah, all that, I'm like, it's all right.
He's like, what is Alex talking about?
Yeah, and then as soon as they open that thing and you see Clara, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then it all made sense.
What people don't realise listening to this at home is that was a make or break moment, because I was just like, I hope to God he doesn't like it, because if he likes it, that's it. I can't be friends with somebody who likes Hellbent. Like, I just can't. There's nothing that would redeem that.
I remember like breaking it down like with every act of that episode. Like the first act, fair enough. The second act, what is happening? The third act, please just let it stop.
Yeah, pretty much. And then when she came, and the funniest thing is, right, this is why I say Clara is Moffat's biggest failure as a showrunner, because he does Hellbent, and the whole point of that episode is that the Doctor and Clara were bad for each other. So one of them has to forget the other one because that will balance out the universe, or some bollocks like that. So the Doctor, shock horror twist, is the one who forgets. We then cut to Twice Upon a Time, Peter Capaldi's last episode. He remembers her again because that glass woman said so, that was pretending to be Bill. Like, oh yeah, hi Doctor, I'm back. And then the line of dialogue, don't forget me again, that was offensive. You're fucking offensive.
It does pretty much undo that whole arc, and it makes it all just...
It so triggers me.
I think that's the only thing that I have known in this life to have actually triggered you.
It was...
Like, properly, anyway.
You have no idea. It was just... It's the only time that I've genuinely been angry at Doctor Who. Like,
I don't even remember being angry with it. I just thought, well, that was disappointing.
I was, because I was just like, I thought better of Moffat. Like, he has been poor. Well, in my opinion, at that point, I thought he was going downhill, but I knew he had been poor, and I knew he was capable of making mistakes, but that was the one that really broke my back. Like, I very nearly stopped watching the show entirely, or at least the new series entirely after that. I just couldn't. Which actually brings me on to another con of mine. I will get back to a positive, because I want to end on a positive, before I get to the final verdict of whether or not he was good or bad. Is actually finales. Now, we touched on Hellbent there, and Clara, but I don't know how Moffat managed to do this. So you end up with... I don't know if you really have this in Matt Smith, but with Capaldi's tenure, the penultimate episode is usually great. It's full of wonderful ideas, wonderfully dark ideas, brilliant character moments.
Sets everything up brilliantly.
Yeah, sets everything up brilliantly, like you say. And then the next part is totally irrelevant and a total waste of time.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
That was definitely the most disappointing thing with Capaldi's run. Like, I wasn't a big fan of Dark Water anyway, so Death in Heaven wasn't that disappointing because I wasn't keen on the first half. But Heaven Sent and World Enough and Time are both brilliant.
They're phenomenal.
And I really wished they had gone somewhere that actually followed up on everything that those big first part episodes promised.
As much as I hate Hellbent, it wasn't supposed to be like a direct sequel to what happened in Heaven Sent. In a way, because Heaven Sent is very much an isolated story. Like, you can watch that by itself, you don't really need to see Hellbent to get everything. Whereas World Enough and Time, to me, is probably the biggest disappointment, because that episode is stellar. I love everything about that. And the fact that not only do you have Cybermen in it, you have a shock from Moffat where he actually kills off a companion pretty much instantly.
Yeah, that was great.
It really works. You have two masters there. You have John Sim back, who is obviously a fan favourite master, and for a lot of people the first master that they ever saw. And then in the next episode, we're just running away from the Cybermen now, and the masters don't need to be there, and Bill's a Cyberman, but she shouldn't be, but she kind of is, but she kind of isn't, and they're going to blow up the floor, and it was just... There was so many great ideas there. Like, I mean, I think I said this in my Series 10 review, but the idea that I had was the Master says, the John Sim Master, that he was kind of responsible for this outbreak in the first place. So what you could do, when the Doctor makes that speech of, you know, I do what I do because it's right, because it's kind, that speech would have had so much more of a payoff if he was actually saying that to John Sim's Master after seeing the consequences of everything that he had done. But instead it just felt like, we're just hanging about for a bit. And I mean, there's even a moment where John Sim just walks over to the Doctor and's just like, yeah, me and the missus is off. Like...
The missus?
Yeah.
That's you.
And, oh, don't get me wrong. Oh, don't get me started on the whole shit where he's flirting with her and he's just like, would it be wrong if... Yes, it fucking would.
It's like, why do you feel the need to go there?
Yo, I mean...
Why?
I mean, it just opens up this can of worms, and No, there's some great moments in the Doctor Falls, though. Don't get me wrong. I do.
Yeah,
I do.
that speech that he
Capaldi's
does
speech,
is
yeah.
great. I think the action sequences towards the end, where the Cybermen are attacking, that's good.
I don't like them. I don't like that he's flinging the Sonic about like it's a gun.
To be fair, I actually can't remember it that well.
He's literally just running about the forest, going zap, zap, blowing
Yeah.
up the floor. The bit where Missy kills the Master's good.
Yeah,
And
that's all right.
And I think something that is actually quite clever as well is I'm sure like the Master is dead with Missy. Like that could very well be the last incarnation. But the thing is, that's fine because you don't see John Sim regenerate.
Yeah, it's just hinted at very subtly.
Yeah,
so it's like, oh, it's definitely going to be that. But it's like, well,
there's a
bit of leeway there.
Yeah, there's every chance that the Master could show up again and not have been Missy yet. It could be another female Master. It could be whoever, really.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see, actually, just briefly going on to the future, what they're going to do with the Master should that character return in Jodie Whittaker's era. I mean, do you go for another female Master and have the female Master against a female Doctor, or do you go back to a male Master?
I think they'd definitely go with another female one.
I think that's what they would do. I don't think that's what they should do.
I haven't given that much thought, to be honest.
No, neither. It's just a thought that occurred to me now.
Yeah, I don't think they need to bring the Master back for quite a while.
Oh no, the Master's always been a character that you don't need all the time.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a focus of Series 11. Because isn't it pretty much all new monsters anyway?
So Chibnall says, yeah.
From what I've read. Like, I'm pretty sure aren't the Daleks like contractually obligated to be in it?
Chibnall said that they're not appearing at all. However, one, he could be lying, and two, if they do, it's probably just a cameo. Like, I can't see them doing like a new, like, fully fledged Dalek story. I mean, we haven't had one for years now, since Magician's Apprentice, funnily enough.
Yeah.
And even then, that was more of a Davros story.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see where they're actually going to go with it, if they're doing all just brand new monsters.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
But anyway, back to Moffat. Right, okay, so the finales we spoke about, Clara we spoke about. Alright, here's a positive that I have for him. I think he nailed the casting of his Doctors.
Yeah,
that
definitely. I've not got a problem with any of the casting for the new era of Doctor Who, to be honest.
I take some issue.
I know you're not a fan of David Tennant, but...
Oh no, I mean, he's a wonderful actor though. I'm not going to say he shouldn't have been the Doctor, because an actor of that calibre, yeah, of course. Like, I'm not a massive fan of his Doctor now, but I did appreciate him as a kid, and I still appreciate him now. But obviously Moffat didn't cast him. But in terms of, I mean, it was a massive gamble with Matt Smith, because, I mean, well, David Tennant, like you just say, he was the Tom Baker of this generation.
Yeah.
He was irreplaceable, and yet you end up with this kid who is the youngest who's ever taken over. Nobody knows who he is. He looks a bit weird. His hair's floppy, all this kind of stuff. And yet somehow, you watch the 11th Hour, and you just think, yep, that's the Doctor.
I do love Matt Smith.
Well, he's your favourite, isn't he?
Yeah. John Pertwee being a close second.
And again, I mean, Peter Capaldi being a total contradiction to what came before. Yet he just is the Doctor, and I know a lot of people have issue with Capaldi, saying that, oh, he's too old, and he's this, and he's that.
The people that say that Peter Capaldi is too old clearly don't know Doctor Who, then.
No, exactly, because he was the same age as William Hartnell, wasn't he? When he took over, I think.
I've no idea.
I think they were both 55 or something like that.
Yeah, both older gentlemen, do we say?
Yeah, they'd lived a life.
That's one way of putting it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think Capaldi was a really, really good shout for the Doctor as well. I think the major issue with him was the writing overall. But I think I'm not against Moffat casting them, because I think when it came to that, he definitely had the right idea. And I mean, the only issue that I have with Capaldi's Doctor is how inconsistent he is. And again, this is nothing to do with Capaldi. You have the Series 8, because I watched Into the Dalek yesterday.
I
really like
I think I know
which
scene you're about to get into as well.
Yeah, I know, because I remember them. This is a moment for the viewers listening. Because we were in Wales when that was broadcast, weren't we?
Yeah, we forced the others to watch it with us.
Yeah. that was funny. They loved it. But anyway, no, I love that in that story in particular. I mean, it's throughout Series 8, but you have the darker Doctor who's just like, am I a good man? Like, am I actually a force for good? And obviously, like, Into the Dalek, there's actually that scene where he pretty much kills somebody, where he gives them this thing, and he's just like, hold on to this, trust me. Dies.
Yeah.
He's just like, what the fuck? Like, where is this gonna go?
I definitely remember looking to you.
Yeah,
And
we
you
did.
looking at me like...
Yeah, we looked at the
whoa.
same time, just like, oh my fucking god. Like, jaws on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, oh, yeah, that was
Like,
mental.
hey, ruthless.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like you say, you get to the first appearance of the Doctor in Magician's Apprentice, and he's wearing a hoodie and sunglasses and on a tank playing a guitar, and you're just like, who the fuck is this?
Maybe this was like just the identity crisis Doctor, where he didn't really know who he wanted to be.
I don't know. I think in Series 10 they had the perfect balance of a Doctor who is dark, but is also kind of fun and like a mad uncle type thing. And I honestly think that Series 10 is actually Capaldi's best series, not in terms of the quality of the stories, but in terms of his performance as the Doctor. I think it is a very nice
character
balance.
consistency.
Yeah, exactly. I do really like him in Series 10.
He is pretty great in all of them. I think Matt Smith's Doctor, like, maybe they had a better idea of who he was compared to Capaldi's Doctor, because Matt Smith's character basically stays the same throughout his entire run.
I don't know about that.
More or less.
Well, yeah.
More or less, he is. He doesn't go through as much changes as Capaldi does.
No,
Like,
no.
obviously, in the first episode with Capaldi, he's reluctant to even, like, hug Clara. He's like, I'm not really a hugging person now. But one of his final scenes is he's hugging Bill
And Nardo.
and
Yeah.
Nardo.
I was
in
literally
the
watching that
battlefield.
on YouTube just before like we started this call now.
I love that scene, though.
It is, well, Clara ruins it. But, no,
Yeah.
we spoke
But
about Clara.
the principle of him saying goodbye to the memories.
Yeah, where he
of-
starts off
of
by
Bill
saying,
and
I'm not really the hugging type, and then one of his last moments is he goes for
Him
the hug.
hugging them back.
So
Yeah.
I do think though that with Matt Smith, I think that he does become a caricature of his own Doctor by the end, and I don't think that's a problem exclusive to him. I think David had that problem. I think Tom had that problem.
Do you reckon it's the curse of the Doctor Who role, then?
Possibly. I mean, there's, like I said, there's definitely a few actors who they sort of think, oh well, people like this about my Doctor, so I'm going to do more of it. Whereas really, what they want is they want you to stay the same. They just like that bit a bit more. But no, I think again, even with the companions, like Karen Gillan, she was a really good choice for Amy Pond, and Arthur Darvill as well for
Karen Gillan is incredibly overrated. Not overrated, underrated.
Fucking hell.
Shall we say?
I thought you were a massive fan of Karen Gillan. I thought, fucking hell, he's going on a rant here. What's this about?
No, I meant to say underrated. Very, very underrated actress, I think. Because I wasn't keen on Amy and Rory to begin with. This is still another thing that... Jesus Christ, hang on.
I told you should have had a drink. The funny thing is, I'm not editing this bit out.
Oh.
I'm just going to leave this in for all the viewers to hear you, like, flemming up.
Oh, I don't know what happened there.
Are you ready?
Yeah,
Are you good?
wasn't a massive fan of them to begin with, but when I revisited the series, I ended up loving them. But Karen Gillan has done, like, so much, like, since Doctor Who.
Yeah,
because
she's
she's-
alright. I don't like her as much as you do, but she's good.
Well, she's rather good as Nebula in the Marvel movie. She was
I
in
don't know.
Oculus. That was great. She's just written and directed a film, actually.
Is she?
Yeah, called The Party's Just Beginning. It's not like a full-on comedy. It's actually like a proper serious drama
Oh,
that she also stars in
oh, fair enough.
as well. So she's like branching out a lot. Like, she is pretty great. And she was in Jumanji as well.
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting about that film.
I've still yet to watch it.
That's another one, like we were talking about before, that a movie that nobody asked for, but we got it.
Yeah, that turned out apparently to be pretty decent for what it was. Just had to get a little Karen Gillan fanboy moment out there.
What about Arthur Darvill?
Again, I didn't like him as Rory at first. I thought Rory was really irritating, but then he grew on me.
Oh, yeah, he is a bit of a wet lettuce, but he's alright.
He does grow on you.
Yeah,
especially through Series 6.
I was just about to say that. I mean, there's one moment that I know that you really like, is the bit where he's on the Cyberman ship.
Yeah, that's great.
And he's like, where's my wife? Bang.
And the ships are blowing up behind
Yeah,
him.
do you want
It's
me
like,
to repeat
yeah.
the question? That was good.
Great.
So yeah, I think with the companions, with the exception of Clara, I do think that Moffat got that right. But I don't know if he did that better than Russell. Because I think...
I'd say the companions are definitely probably more memorable in Russell's era.
I think they're a lot more personal as well, because obviously when Amy starts off, she doesn't have a family. I mean, that's explained within the plot of the show, and that makes sense, so I don't take issue with that. but you don't really have that personal family connection even after that's resolved. Like, you don't really see Amy go home and you spend time with her mum and dad. I mean, the closest thing that you have is
it's like the wedding at the end of Series 5.
no, the thing I was going to say was the closest thing that you have to anything sort of similar to like Jackie or Wilf is what's his face, Rory's dad, and even then you don't get many episodes with him.
It's like 2, isn't it? There's like 2 appearances and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, he's good in Power of 3, and
very fun.
What is it? Dinosaurs in a Spaceship is the other one. Yeah, so
Both 2 episodes that are very kind of just average.
Yeah, so I think when it comes to the family aspect, I think Moffat. I mean, look, Companions in the classic era, they didn't have a family dynamic as such. Like, you didn't really go back to see Sarah Jane's family, or you didn't go back and see Ace's family or whatnot. But with the new series, I think that was such a strong and stroke of genius, really, from Russell, that it was a shame that we didn't really get that with Moffat. But he still managed
Maybe
to
Moffat
write.
thought, okay, that was Russell's thing. That was a huge element of his writing, bringing in the. Because obviously Russell did mostly dramas before, wasn't it? Like, I think this was like the first sci-fi thing he did. So it made sense for him. So maybe Moffat thought, okay, I'll stick to the more fairy tale, more sci-fi, and make it more otherworldly, and not, branch off into the whole family drama stuff.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for the show to kind of lose that after a point, because I think if we kept getting that every season, it'd get very boring after a while.
I guess so, because it would then sort of turn into like Coronation Street in space.
Pretty much, yeah. It worked very well for Russell, but I can't imagine Moffat pulling it off in the same way.
No, I mean, I just wanted to see a bit more of it, I guess, because, I mean, a character like Bill, I don't know, I mean, I've said this before, I don't know if Bill is actually a good companion. I don't know if I genuinely enjoy her, or just because she feels like more of an actual person than Clara did.
And I think
that's
not hard, is it?
No, but it's like they obviously tried to give her a bit of character, because they had... was it a stepmom that she was living with, or her auntie, or something like that?
Yeah, I can't really remember that much about Bill, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. I think, again, the casting's good, but the writing... I mean, except Amy and Rory, I think the writing was really sort of... not lackluster, but just...
very minimal.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, yes, the Doctor is the main focus of the show, but I think the way that Russell set up the new series, it was a more balanced show. It wasn't just, isn't the Doctor amazing, watch him go off and do this. It was a simple case of, yes, the Doctor's that, but the companion's also just as important. And I think Moffat slightly missed the mark on that.
The companions were even more important than the Doctor.
Yeah,
you look at Martha's journey, and the final 3-part in
Series 3.
The final 3-part in Series 3, where the last episode is pretty much she is the hero. Same with Donna in Turn Left, and how it all revolves back round to her.
I mean, Rose in Series 1.
Parting ways. Yeah, exactly. So the companions are always sometimes more relevant than the Doctor. Like, they're the main focus sometimes.
Well, yeah, because it's like, obviously there was the spin-offs of Torch will be Captain Jack and the Sarah Jane Adventures with Sarah Jane, funnily enough. I couldn't see a similar type of show with Amy, Rory, or Clara, or Bill, or Nardole. Like, I just don't think it would have worked.
No, definitely not. I mean, I think we touched upon this in the last, the last video we did with Clara and me flying off in the TARDIS, and we said, please don't make that a spin-off.
Oh God. Shut up, because they still might do it. Like, don't.
Well, it's not like they're listening.
He's not got a job now. Like, this is what he's going to do. He's going to piss people off forever.
No one would watch it, though.
No, that's true. But no, I think Moffat is probably still, for me, in my top 10 Doctor Who writers of all time.
Oh, yeah. He's always going to be remembered as a great writer in Doctor Who. Like, anyone who can say flat out, yeah, he was a terrible writer, is like, I would disagree with that completely.
No, because you
can't say that.
No, you can't look over stories like The Empty Child, or Blink, or Silence in the Library, or The 11th Hour, or
Pandorica Opens, The Big Bang, all that stuff.
Day of the Yeah, all of it. Like, but I think the problem with Moffat is he's somebody who has great ideas, he has great visions. He's probably the most creative writer that we've ever seen in Doctor Who.
Probably the most ambitious, I'd say. That's the word I would definitely use.
But I think he always needed somebody to rein him in slightly and sort of bring him down a peg. As showrunner, he clearly just sort of went over the top, and because he was the boss, nobody said, maybe don't do that. But, I mean, the rumour is, and I don't know how true this is, but Moffat went through quite a lot of producers, and the rumour is that a lot of those producers said, look, Moffat, you're going a bit too far here. And then, obviously, they were replaced shortly after. So whether or not that's true, I don't know. I'm not saying this. This is all speculation. Moffat, don't come at me. Don't at me, fam. But, yeah, that's... He just needs reining in. And I think that's why he works so brilliantly in Russell. And I think that's why, in a way, I'm kind of excited now for this writer's room thing. Because if this had worked with Moffat, or they'd done this with Moffat... I mean, even if it was, like, Russell and Moffat as, like, a writing duo, or... even Moffat and Mark Gatiss, I think we would have got a much better tenure, I think, if Moffat had somebody writing with him, toning him down a bit.
Maybe.
I don't know.
So would you say he is a good showrunner then?
Overall,
yeah,
it's really 50-50 for me, because for every good thing there's a bad thing. I just don't know whether the good things outweigh the bad. Because there's some things for me that he did were great that I'll always thank him for. And I've said this in another video, but I will always thank him for Day of the Doctor. Especially for bringing back My Doctor, which was Tom Baker. Even if it was just a fleeting cameo. Like, to see somebody who is...
one of the best scenes in the whole episode, though.
Yeah, exactly. And to see My Doctor be the Doctor again, alongside the Doctor, was mind-blowing to me. And, I'll always thank him for that. And obviously, he gave us... 2 wonderful doctors, well, technically 3 because of John Hurt. He gave us 3 wonderful doctors, all played by fantastic actors that I hope go on to do many more things. I mean, obviously we've lost to John Hurt, but obviously Matt Smith can go on. Capaldi's doing other work, so I'll always thank him for that. Some of my favourite Doctor Who episodes of all time, I think, are in Moffat's era, like the 11th Hour as well. I don't know though. I still have major issues with Clara. That is a massive steaming turd over his era. Hellbent is an episode that I never want to see that type of episode again, in the sense that I got so angry about it after watching that. And look, people are going to say, oh, it's just a TV show. Yeah, but it's more than a TV show to me. Fuck off. I definitely think he stayed too long as well. And I think that sort of soured his legacy. I think he didn't leave at the time where he wanted to, and he obviously just sort of was running on fumes for a bit. So I don't know. I can't definitively say whether or not he is, because he's got... the highs are so high, but also the lows are so lows. I can't really...
Yeah.
I think
it depends how much you love those highs and how much you hate those lows, though.
That's the problem. I love the highs as much as I hate the lows. What about you? What would you say? Are you leaning more towards a good showrunner or a bad showrunner?
I would lean more towards good,
okay.
I think. When we take into consideration that he was also running Sherlock as well.
Yeah, and he also wrote the Tintin movie around that time as well. Yeah,
like he's got these 2 shows that, you know, have got such huge fan bases, and he's still keeping it going, and even through, you know, the later series that weren't that great, he was still bringing innovative ideas, and he was still doing things that were new.
Do you watch
even though they had mixed results, he was still able to keep that going, and you can tell that he still had... Well, I think anyway, that he still had a passion for it, and that he carried on with it, and he was enjoying it, at least, I think, and he was still bringing out material that was, you know, mixed sometimes, but there would always be great stuff in there. And running 2 shows, I could imagine that being an incredibly, like, strenuous task.
Yeah.
As well, to keep that going, like the workload must have been horrific. So to keep it going as he did, I think is really commendable. So I would say that he is a good showrunner.
I definitely do admire him for that. However, I have a final question for you here, and to me this is sort of the definitive answer of whether or not he's a good showrunner. Would you like to see him come back and write another episode?
Not right now.
See? I knew it.
Well, we've just had him do, like, you know, so many years of writing.
I'm not saying Series 11, but would you like to see him in Series 12?
No, it's still too soon. It was like, even if you'd asked me the same about Russell, like, oh, would you like him to write one for Series 6 or 7? I'd still say no.
I would have done, though. That's the thing.
I'd love Russell to do another one now. Like, I know he's did the novelisation version of Rose, but I'm not going to be checking that out. I think, like, you know, give them time, like, 5 years or so to just, like, do their own thing and then come back.
No, because I seriously think Russell could have written something in Series 5 or 6. I mean, the fact he was writing the Sarah Jane Adventures around that time.
And Torchwood as well.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah, I forgot about that.
I think I'd like to see them both do some Big Finish stuff, because I've still yet to check out any of the Big Finish stuff, but I think that'd be a great starting on point for me. if they came back just to even if it was just like one story each.
Well, I mean,
I think that'd be kind of cool.
They have done loads of. Well, I mean, not those two, but there's loads of Big Finish stuff that you need to dive into. I mean, they've done new series stuff, like the stuff with Tennant.
Yeah, I'll probably check out the Tennant stuff first.
I was going to wrap it up there, but there's one more thing that I've thought of in favour against Moffat being the showrunner, which is his treatment of the Daleks and the Cybermen.
Overused.
It's not even that. I just don't think he wrote a good Dalek story or wrote a good Cyberman story. And for me, as the big Cyberman fanboy that I am, it's really frustrating because he did nearly write what could have been the perfect Cyberman story with World Enough and Time.
Yeah, that is a good point.
But I don't know.
I think it's always his like creator-owned monsters that stick out most to me, shall we say?
Actually,
like the Weeping Angels and the Silence.
Yeah,
that's where he was better with villains. The stuff that he created himself.
Yeah, I do tell a lie though, because I do actually like Into the Dalek, but I don't know if he wrote that.
I think he did, but I think it was he co-wrote it with someone.
I'm gonna look it up now, because like I said, I do actually really like that one. I don't even know why, because at the time I was just like, meh, it's all
that was
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil Ford.
Okay, so he didn't write it then. Fair enough.
No, he was a co-writer. It was Phil Ford and Stephen Moffat.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
So he was involved.
Well, yeah. Of course he is. It's Moffat.
To be fair, I think he pretty much co-wrote most of the episodes in Series 8.
Yeah.
Come to think of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just picturing the title screens now, and yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
However,
but yeah, it was definitely his own monsters that he was stronger with, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean the songs.
I mean, like the Silence and the Weeping Angels are, I'd say they're pretty iconic at this point for New Who, anyway.
I wouldn't say the Silence, but the Weeping Angels, yeah. But I mean the Sontarans, I think he ruined as well. But listen, right?
Yeah,
I mean, people that are listening at home, they probably think, oh yeah, Wingy just hates Moffat. I really don't hate him. I really don't hate the man. I think he has done a lot of good for the show, and I know I haven't particularly fought for his corner that much in this podcast, but he's given me some of my happiest memories watching Doctor Who. And I mean, Capaldi and Matt Smith, I had major doubts about them before they took over, and it's because of his writing and I suppose their acting ability. It's not all on Moffat, but you know, I really love those Doctors now. Capaldi's my second favourite, and that's with writing that clearly wasn't Moffat's best, and he still managed to make that character so enjoyable for me.
Yeah. So definitely,
yeah. So
as a writer as well, I definitely admire a lot of the stuff he's done.
I do. Like I say, I do. He is still top 10 for me in all writers in Doctor Who's history. Like, I'm not going to put him above the likes of Robert Holmes or anybody, but I mean, Robert Holmes for me is number 1 anyway. But Moffat isn't too far behind. I don't know if he's top 5, but he's definitely like 6th or 7th, something like that.
Yeah,
like
he's definitely got to be mentioned.
Yeah,
in the years to come when they do documentaries or articles like the writers that define Doctor Who.
Yeah,
he's got to have a mention.
Yeah, he definitely should, because he has done a lot of good. I just think the bad outweighs it somewhat. But I mean, no era's perfect, is it?
There's always a part of an era that dubs it down a bit, but I think he did pretty well most of the time.
I mean, imagine if Chibnall's worse. Fucking hell.
I'm very optimistic about Chibnall's run.
I don't know.
I'm looking forward to it. I think Jodie will be really good. I like that they bring in, they're doing just original monsters, because we need some new iconic monsters now.
Yeah.
But in the future, I would love to see the Sea Devils come back.
Yeah, so would I. But as long as they're done, well, not in the same way that the Silurians were treated, basically.
Yeah, I don't want the design to change too much.
No.
Like, I know they've got to evolve it a bit, but don't do it as drastically as they did with the Silurians.
Well, it's obvious that they can do it, because I mean, you look at the Daleks, the Zygons, and the Ice Warriors.
Oh yeah, the Zygons look great still.
Yeah, and the Ice Warriors as well. Like, if anything, I actually prefer the new Ice Warrior design to the original. I mean, the old ones looked a bit fat, but
yeah, the design still looks great.
Yeah, it's still good, but
the new ones.
Yeah, it looks better now. I do think if the Daleks are coming back, we need a bit of a redesign though.
Yeah. I definitely think we should do a joint review for Series 11, but as it's airing, we don't tell each other what we think of the episodes.
I've already said to you I'm down for that.
Yeah, so we just like sit down, it's like, right, so what did you think then? And I can just see it now, you're going to be like, don't say you love it.
Well, no, this is the thing. Again, people seem to...
You'll dislike it, and I'll be like,
People seem to think that I'm going into this series expecting to hate it and it to be the worst thing ever. I'm really, really not. I wouldn't say that I'm optimistic for it, but I'm not dreading it. Like, at this point, like, I mean, this has been a long time coming. This has got nothing to do with any of the news that's come out. Like, I felt sort of numb for Doctor Who. It's like I said before, Hellbent sort of broke my back, so I just can't get excited for Doctor Who anymore. I really hope it's good. I really hope she's good as the Doctor. I really hope Chibnall knows what he's doing. But just at this point, I'm just like,
I always think, like, whenever people say, "Oh yeah, Chris Chibnall's episodes weren't that great when he was writing under, Russell T Davies and Moffat," but you got to remember, like, when he was submitting those scripts, like Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat would probably edit those somewhat.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first time he's writing Doctor Who, and it's his own free reign.
I guess so.
So
but I mean,
it might work much better in his favour that way.
The argument that I always say is Moffat was fantastic, and then he took over. So maybe Chibnall could be the opposite of, like, not so great, but then he takes over and he's amazing. Because obviously I have issues with Moffat, as we've discussed probably. So yeah. So overall, yeah, Moffat, alright showrunner for me. Not the best, not the worst.
Yeah, he gets a thumbs up from me.
Right, well, we got through it. That is the first episode of the Just Wing It podcast. Is there anything else we need to talk about? I mean, we've been going for like an hour and a half anyway, nearly.
I think that's it, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my list and pretty much touched on everything that I wanted to mention.
Well, that should be good. Well, I hope people listening at home, if you're still here, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you don't give any of us abuse in the comments.
Listening to us two nerds just rant about things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, thank you for tuning in. Oh, one thing that I want to do in future episodes is have people send in questions. I didn't do it this time because people don't know what we're talking about, and we didn't really know. We sort of finding our feet this time.
To be fair, this is completely experimental on our part.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we've just winged this.
Exactly. Well, that's the point of the show, Dan. You're catching up. You've caught on.
Hey, man, I've enjoyed it. It's been fun.
It has. I've enjoyed it. But yeah, so if you want questions in and us to answer them in future episodes, then whenever a podcast is uploaded, just leave them in the comments. Like I say, I don't know if Dan is going to be in every single podcast. Well, no, he's probably not going to be in every single podcast because we all have stuff to do, like. I don't know if you're going to be part of the next one or if it's going to be a guest. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Well, I mean, I'm seeing it tomorrow anyway, so we'll talk about that anyway. We'll have to see how.
I'm definitely down for doing more.
Oh yeah, well, like I say, I want you to be the regular on it, but.
No.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm going for that.
I don't know that many people. That's why.
Lack of numbers.
Yeah, exactly. I can't get Brandon talking about this shit, can I?
Well, I tried to get him in with Vincent and the Doctor, but failed.
Oh,
I tried.
Yeah, that's one of the best in Moffat's era. I know he didn't write it, but he commissioned it, so I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if anybody has questions for a future podcast, then leave that in the comments. And also, obviously, I did the Tom Baker thing before. If you want me to read out anything in Tom Baker's voice, then again, leave that in the comments, and I'll get round to it. Hopefully. Well, I'll choose the best ones because I'm going to stick to like only a few each time. But yeah, so thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Dan, for joining me.
That's my pleasure.
And,
great.
And now we're going to go and we're going to just wing it elsewhere. So until next time, see you later.